Yo, wanted to talk about inner Earth civilizations in this one. So basically, picture this: the Earth has like a honeycomb structure around it, right? Just like how bees can fly in and out of their honeycombs, there's portals and gateways, and maybe even wormholes on the Earth that allows UFOs or even people to fly through them or go through them to get to an inner Earth civilization. And I'm not talking about DUMBs here or those deep military bases that go underground. I'm talking about something that goes deeper than that. And this dates all the way back to World War II and the Nazi Draco reptilians. Did I say Draco Nazi reptilians? Yes, those. We had Dracos that teamed up with part of the Nazis in World War II in order to give them technology. The Nazi breakaway groups knew about underground bases, UFOs, anti-gravity, and free energy. And they used this to their advantage, as well as the swastika, because the real definition of the swastika in Sanskrit means well-being, and its deeper meaning is permanent victory. And this was perpetuated into the wrong hands, of Hitler, and he used it for bad. And his men, his breakaway groups, they got in these crazy bell-shaped UFOs, went to Antarctica or the South Pole, and went through a place in which they were able to see inner Earth. And according to history, some of his men were killed in this time, but maybe they weren't. And this is why, after they probably saw what they saw and officials didn't want them talking to the public about it, that's probably why, World War II ended and they had to go hide in Argentina for the rest of their lives. Little did some of these humans know that the Dracos that were giving them access upon ships to go fly with them, they were actually making human hybrids in this way. But that's for another story. I'm here to talk about inner Earth civilizations right now. So if you look up Agartha, or the land of the advanced races, there is many different ways to get into inner Earth. Some say the pyramids of Giza might even have entrances to there. There may be caves in India, the South Pole, Antarctica, as I mentioned, and also the North Pole, which is a very special place where some Norse legends or legends call it to be Mount Meru. And this is because there's a very strong magnetic pulse around Mount Meru. So this is why all compasses point north, and it might also have something to do with the tree of life, Yggdrasil, that was cut down there at the North Pole. Used to be a very tall tree that connected our realms to the higher realms. There's 9 underworlds, 13 dimensions of higher realms, and this tree used to connect our world with the higher realms, but then it was cut off because of a parasitic force, and that tree will grow back. We just need to get right with nature. There's even a book about this called The Smoky God, where this man named Olaf goes on a journey with his son to see the land beyond the north winds. And apparently when they were greeted at the North Pole by giants, because in inner Earth the atmosphere is so clean and it sustains life better, that apparently people were giants there. They took Olaf and his son in there and they found grapes the size of oranges, civilizations that were advanced, and many other things, but you guys can do your own research and figure out about that. So because Olaf was able to get there with his ship, and even Admiral Byrd was able to get there with the plane, and I forget which year, at one point Admiral Byrd was sent to a mission to go or fly above the South or North Pole. It was the South Pole, and he went there to fly over the South Pole, right? However, he went inside of the pole rather than over it, and at one point his plane lost control and it started being controlled by other beings, and at this point he was being stationed into Inner Earth, you know, to have a conversation with these beings. And yeah, after he got out, he explained the wonders of this, but you can also do your own research on that. But because I'm saying this, you don't have to join no crazy pact or whatever to get inside of Inner Earth, and I'm only saying this because if you do some research, you'll find there's some crazy people out there that have done some shit to try and get in Inner Earth, but I think it's useless because we also have a civilization called the Anshar, which is technically us from the future. They're considered fourth density beings who are superiorly technologically advanced, and these people live in caverns, and they are connected with us humans in some sort of way. And in these caverns, their cities are run by sonoluminescence or sonoluminescent lights, which means they use the power of sound to light up these cities. And some have even said that once a cataclysmic event hits Earth at a certain point, a certain amount of people will be taken by the Anshar in their ships to these caverns, where they will learn how to be more self-sustaining. You can research more about these Inner Earth caverns by looking up Corey Goode. He is a guy who apparently had contact with the Anshar and has already been there, and he was friends with the priestess known as Ka-Ari, but I'm not going to get too much into explaining that. And the Anshar periodically came to the surface to help humanity after cataclysms, and they restart the civilizations by teaching people medicine, agriculture, writing, math, science, and they have done this over and over again in a period of cycles. And they also communicate with us telepathically to guide us and seed us with ideas. So because they are connected to us in some form, and they're apparently the 4D version of ourselves from the future, this might mean that we are being divinely guided to go into Inner Earth civilizations, or some of us, because I've also researched that there they live on a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle, and that interests me because I've been on a vegetarian lifestyle for a pretty long time now, you know, and I kind of, there was something inside of me that made me do that, you know, years ago. And I did go back to eating meat at one time, but then I went back to it, you know, I went back to just being a vegetarian. And this is what interests me, because are we being prepared to go into Inner Earth, you know? There's more to this that I'm not explaining because I don't have all the research yet, but this is also somehow tied in with crystals, Nordics, and Sasquatch. But yeah, man, if I were to ever be picked up in a light ship and just taken to this huge crystal city or sonoluminescent city in a cavern, I would not be surprised, man. So to me, the Earth is both round and flat at the same time, because the plane of existence that we're on, plan ET that we're on, is, you know, flat, even though there's mountains and things that don't make it flat, obviously, at the same time. And we're in this firmament that makes it round, and as above so below. If there's a firmament above, there's one below, so that's what makes it flat and round at the same time. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys some perspective as to the fact that there's inner Earth civilizations, and we're chilling here on the surface, baby. I'm gonna end this video with footage of a UFO flying in a volcano, which is proof of the honeycomb Earth that I was talking about earlier, and how there is certain structures and things set in play for UFOs to go in and out of the Earth. This is MC Chill. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay safe, focused, and balanced. Stay up. Peace.